You want to start a direct booking website and you've been thinking about how you do that, you can do that a bunch of different ways. One of the things you can do is you can pay somebody a percentage of what your guest is going to pay you. You could pay somebody like me to build that site for you. You could pay a flat fee. Some people are going to charge you hourly. There's going to be a whole bunch of different ways. Some PMSs offer this, all kinds of different ways that you can get into a direct booking site. And you get the site, that's great, awesome, you got it. Now what? Like literally crickets, now what? I think that's the biggest challenge most people face is like, what do I do now that I have the direct booking site? You need a strategy. You need a way that you're going to actually leverage people into getting onto your website. And so what's your funnel? How are you getting them through the door into your website to book with you? And there's a whole different funnel for once they're on your website, but how do you actually get them there? Are you going to pay for Google Ads? Are you going to build an email list or make a sign and stand out on the street and flip it?
See, he's going to do a basic spin right there. Oh,
People to, how are you going to do it? That's really the question. You have to get creative is what I would suggest to you. And what I suggest to my clients specifically is to kind of create a secret sauce.
It's my sauce. I make it myself.
For getting your audience. The secret sauce is still going to take some work on your part. It's still going to take you actually doing something and you working the process. It also takes some commitment to regular engagement. But I do want to share with you what the secret sauce is. And here's what my secret sauce is for getting people onto your website is to create a Facebook group that targets your potential future guests. That's what I've done right here with Red River Gorge Fun, Kentucky. You can see this is a Facebook group that I've created. And it has, let's see if I can find where it shows you how many people are in it. Right now, I created this maybe not even that long ago, maybe 4 months ago. I kind of populated, invited some of my friends into it, and it has grown to over 1,000 people. By the time we launch our actual Airbnb that we're going to be launching at the Red River Gorge, my hope is to have 20,000 people in this group so I can direct market to those people. This is something that you're going to use to create the sense that you are the expert in your region, and you're going to try to get thousands of people into this group. You're going to intentionally market it in a way that gets people into your group. And when you do that, those people are going to start to look to you, especially if you're building community with them, especially if you're really working that angle of like, we care about you. We want to, we're providing a benefit to you and giving them insider tricks, giving them insider tips, all that kind of stuff. This is really key. It gives you an automatic audience to push your listing to, and specifically your direct booking listing. I recommend to you is you really need to become the expert in your region that people are looking to when they're looking for a place to stay. When they're looking for information about how to find things, people will ask questions on this Facebook group and they'll say, how do I find a place to eat over Christmas? And I'll research for them and I'll find out restaurants that are open at Christmas time at the Red River Gorge. I'll do stuff like that intentionally helps them go, okay, Kent is somebody I can rely on. Kent is somebody who's going to give us information. There was a lady who asked, I'm looking for a place to stay at the Gorge, and I went out and found different people who had some properties that were open, and I pushed those properties, gave me goodwill with those Airbnb owners, but it also gave me goodwill in my group. Now, eventually, I'm going to switch that, and I'm going to only be pushing my property. But right now, I'm okay pushing some other stuff because I want people in my group to be looking to me for that kind of information. Does that make sense? So what I wanted to do is show you how do you actually set up one of these groups, because I just launched a new Airbnb in Georgetown, Kentucky. And so what Georgetown has is we're very close to several different things. We're close to a horse park in Kentucky, the Ark experience, which is a thing that Christians come to, Noah's Ark, kind of, it's an experience, whatever. And then we're also close to the Bourbon Trail. So I could really target any one of those. I'm going to actually target the Ark experience because I happen to know that it is a huge attractor for people in our area. I want to show you how to do that. It takes like maybe 5 to 10 minutes to set up the group. I think it's worth doing this for any potential market that you're going to go into, because again, you're just creating that initial step into your funnel. How do I get into the funnel? And this is how you do it. The number one rule for Facebook groups, before I do this, I want to say this up front so that you know this, is you should be creating about 97% of what you put in this Facebook group should be about creating camaraderie. It should be about creating community with your people. There should be maybe 3% of what you do soft selling your property, right? Nobody wants to be in a group that's being spammed constantly, especially by the admin, because part of what I'm going to advocate is that you don't let other people push their products into your group. Your product gets pushed, their product doesn't. And so you need to be very clear, and you need to be posting pretty regularly stuff that creates 97% community camaraderie with your people, and 3% is going to be pushing your property. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into Facebook. My monitor is actually over here, so I'm going to be looking away from the camera for this, but you can kind of watch me as I do this. I'm going to click up here on Facebook. You're just going to log in, click group, and I'm going to give this group a name. I'm going to call it Arc Encounter. Sorry, spell it right. And then I'm going to do Kentucky, because this is something people are going to search. They're going to be looking for the Ark Encounter, or maybe they have been on the Ark Encounter's website or whatever. Facebook is going to pick that up, and it's going to suggest your group to them. So you want to have some keywords in there that people might be searching on Google for in your title of your group name. So I'm going to also have Ark Encounter, and then I'm going to do dash best tips, tricks, and local recommendations. Again, if you think about it, this is people who are coming, they're coming here. Why are they coming? Because they're going to vacation at this place. They're not going to come to this group all the time. Now, I'm going to do some intentional things around this. I am a Christian, and so I'm going to offer some things like, hey, how can we be praying for you? And, you know, I'm going to do some things that are community-based, where my hope is they keep coming back to this group as a place where they can actually engage. But for you, that might look different. It may be talking about your dog and post your picture of your dog, you know, whatever it is that helps create that sense of community in your group. So I'm going to choose the privacy here. Anyone who can see who's in the group and what they post. Private, only members can see who's in the group and what they post. For now, I'm going to set private. You may want to change that later. I'm going to make the group visible, though. If you wanted it hidden, this would be like a group that nobody can see except for people who are in it. And I'm right now just going to invite my wife. All right, so that's super simple. You can invite more people to that later if you want. And this is, I'm going to move me over here to the side, and I'm going to hit create. All right, so I'm creating the group. Super simple, right? It doesn't take much to do this. Now I'm going to eventually populate this with some other people. I'm going to invite other friends into this group. I'm going to invite other people into the group. But that's as simple as it is. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to look for Ark Encounter. I happen to know that they have a super cool picture at Christmas time, so I'm going to look for a Christmas picture and see what we can find here. Yeah, see, it's real cool at Christmas. Actually, take one of these that's just off. I'm going to copy this. Now, I would encourage you, if you're going to take pictures off of Google or something, let me show you this real quick. You can come in here. I want to go to Images, Google Images. This is where you find this. Under Tools, Usage Rights, and you want to do Creative Commons license. These are pictures that anybody can use anytime, right? I don't think that I'm going to have any problem with them coming back at me and saying, hey, that's our picture, because I'm promoting their property. If they did, I'd just remove it and get rid of it. But I'm going to save the image. I think that's a cool one. Save it. I'm going to come back here. And really what I'm wanting is for that image to pop when people look at it. If you have your own image, like on my Red River Gorge Facebook page, I actually use a picture that's my picture, that is a picture of my family having fun there, because again, I'm focusing on the fact that you're going to have fun at this place. Lots of places focus on hiking or whatever for the Red River Gorge, but I wanted to kind of capture a specific market segment, and that's people who are looking to have fun there, because you might go to a place like that just to drive through to see the leaves. Maybe you're not a hiker, and I want to be very careful about how I position it, because I want it to be as broad as I possibly can. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the picture. I'm going to go to my downloads right here, upload that, boom, looks sweet, right? Great picture. It's got this. I anticipate that in a few days, I'm going to start getting people dropping into this group. Now, I wanted to show you, there are a few things that you're going to want to do once you get this set, and you want to go through and you want to set your description. You want to write all that stuff out. When you are the admin of a group, you'll see on the left-hand side, there are all these different functions here that you can choose. So member questions, pending approvals, all kinds of stuff. The one I want to point out that most people might miss is it's called Admin Assist. And this one is super helpful. You're going to want to go through the Admin Assist and set a bunch of different settings. So like for instance, do we want to approve member requests? I'm going to come in here because I want to say if somebody has a Facebook and it's at least a month old, that person just gets automatically approved. All right. I'm going to decline them for if they have a brand new account. I could decline. I personally want my Facebook group to populate very quickly. And so I'm going to be careful about not declining people just automatically. So I'm not going to set that, but you might want to set it. You can suspend a person if somebody's a repeat offender of some of your other criteria, like they continue to post stuff they shouldn't post. You can just automatically suspend that person. One of the things that I will do is move post to review if it's got false information. So I'll add that. Only move post to review, and suspend author. You can do different things. So one of the things that we do want to do is we want to specifically decline incoming posts that are coming from other websites, because what we really want to do is say, hey, if you are trying to post a link to something else, probably you're trying to spam people, you're trying to get them to come and purchase your product. And remember, we're wanting to keep this group and this community very clean and very clear, and we want 97% of what we're doing to be about building community and only 3% to be about selling anything, and we want to be very intentional about that 3% being our stuff. And so what you're going to do, let me show you this again. When you're in Admin Assist, you're going to click and decline incoming post if, and you're going to look through here, and what you're going to find is post with reshared content. Okay, post has reshared content from outside the group. Post has a link. We're going to add that to the Admin Assist. What this is going to do is it's going to keep people who are posting with a link. They're posting from any content that's outside of the group. Now, if they're sharing something that's from within the group, somebody's posted a picture or whatever, and they want to comment back on that, it's going to keep it. It's going to decline it if they post with a link. Now, you could go in and still allow that post later. If somebody complains and says, hey, I posted a link to a great restaurant or whatever, you could go in and allow that later, but this allows you to decline it initially. There are some other things in here. So spam posts we'd want to get rid of, right? I'm going to add that. I just use their basic settings. I also want to decline if it's from a fake account. Makes sense to me, right? They don't have a profile picture, their account is less than 1 month. It's going to decline it. It's going to give you an option to allow it later if you want. And then you can just look through here and see posts that violate the group rules. Now, we haven't set up the group rules. I'd encourage you to do that. When you get all this set, again, you're going to want to go through every single setting. I don't know that you want to watch me go through them all, but I do think Admin Assist is hugely beneficial. So I just wanted to show you that specifically. You need to set up the thing about not letting outside links and posts be posted into your group. But the other thing that I wanted to show you is a couple of these automatic things that you can create, these posts. So I'm going to do a welcome post, right? I'm going to continue. So I'm going to say, we're so glad to have you join our community. Be sure to post when your trip is, and if you have any favorite tips for visiting the Ark, right? We really care about each other. I'm setting a tone with this post. Think about the group that you're creating. What is your group about? My group, I think this picture is going to make the most sense for it. I'm going to do this once a week. I also want to kind of be intentional about my timing on this. I think most people are on Facebook around 10 a.m. in the morning. I think people get tired at work. They jump on Facebook for a little bit and they jump on. I think people jump on Facebook on Thursdays at 10 a.m. the most. And so I'm going to set that to do Facebook on Thursdays. I'm going to introduce myself and whoever else I make an admin on that. I'm going to add it to the Admin Assist. So what's cool is automatically once a week on Thursdays, that post is going to post and it's going to jump in. Facebook also offers some other, remember, we're trying to build community here, right? So Facebook has some built-in different types of posts you can add. I want to show you this. And I would encourage you to go through and set different ones of these up so that they're regularly happening. Now, what I am very intentional about doing is I have some of these that post every single week. I have some of these that post every other week. I have some of these that post once a month. I am intentional about kind of rotating through. So from the end user perspective, it feels like I am actively managing this, but really what I'm using is automations. I will change some of the wording of these, but you can look, time for Friday favorite, share this week's favorite, whatever. So it might be in this group, your favorite tip or your favorite place to eat around the Ark or favorite other thing to do when you're visiting the Ark, right? I'm wanting to create kind of this sense of like community around that concept. Monthly rules reminder. I don't really do that because I don't find people breaking my rules a lot, because I set those other admin assist categories really tightly. Heads up, here's your monthly reminder too, and you can do whatever you want there. It could be your monthly reminder to stop and smell the roses, right? Like whatever it is. But there's a bunch of these. You can see there's a whole bunch of them. And so I'd really love to use the throwback Thursday comment on a photo. And what I'll ask is for people to share their favorite photo from the place. Now, you'll find early on this feels almost silly because you've got 15 people in your group and you're like, nobody wants to share a photo with, the same 15 people. They're not going to keep doing it. Now that I'm at like 1,000 people in that other group, I found that this is kind of a fun thing. Like people will share. I am hyper intentional. And this is key. Remember, I told you at the beginning, you have to keep commenting on this. You have to actively engage this group. Do not create these groups if you're not willing to take the time every day to jump in and create the community, to comment. If somebody posts a photo, I always jump in and I go, hey, that's a great photo. I love it. Where were you guys? What happened? Like I comment, I create the community. I'm driving that. And what I found is as you create that culture within the community, everybody else starts to become the same thing. I've had a lady on our Facebook group about the Red River Gorge in Kentucky share how she loves hiking. She's loved hiking there, but ever since her husband passed, she's had a hard time going back. And instead of just leaving that or not touching it, because I shared I'm a Christian, I jumped on and said, hey, I'm so sorry that you went through that, and I'm sorry that you are going through that. I'm going to be praying for you. And I literally have spent time praying for this woman and have continued to connect with her. I'm doing that not because I want to sell my Airbnb, but because I genuinely care about people, right? So like there is an important piece of this, of you actually being a real human in all of this, you actually connecting with people. And long term, I think that becomes good for your business. I think people will want to stay at your property because they've learned who you are. They've gotten a sense of who you are. So using these kind of automatic systems that Facebook builds into the thing for you is pretty dang cool. It's pretty awesome. So I'd really encourage you to jump in and do that. I prefer this whole system for getting traffic into your direct booking website, because it creates this organic community that gets to know you. You become an expert. You are driving community for them. You're actually providing a value to them. And I think they feel like when they stay with you, like they're almost, they're staying with a friend. I think they're going to care for your property more. I think they're going to want to do favors for you and make sure that they give you a 5-star rating. You know what I mean? I think this helps you to leverage your property. And I do think you need to realize this is not a quick fix. It's not a quick strategy. It's a slow strategy. It's a trickle kind of strategy. But what I found is we were adding maybe 3 to 4 people into our Facebook group every single week initially, and now we're starting to add 100 people a week. And I think soon we'll be adding way more than 100 people. I think we'll be adding 200 people a week. I think it will start to snowball, and we'll get to that 20,000 before we launch our property in the Red River Gorge fairly quickly. I'm excited to get it started for our property in Georgetown, and it's going to be good. Be sure to join our group if you've ever been to the Ark Encounter, because this is a live group, and I would love to have you jump in and kind of watch and maybe even see how the growth happens. Be sure to like and comment on this video if this has helped you at all. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I would love to kind of help answer questions you have about this. Last thing that I want to tell you, and these are just real important things to remember, is don't let other people advertise on your site. You need to shut that down quickly. I've had people try to sell t-shirts. I've had people try to push their Airbnbs, and it feels a little cringy to shut them down. Like it feels a little self-serving, but the reality is you are intentionally starting this site for your business, right? And just like you wouldn't let somebody else advertise on your own personal website, somebody put a magnet on your car to advertise their business, it's the same thing. This is something you have created, and it's okay to block those things, to shut them down. I get them out really quickly, partially because I don't want our community getting oversaturated, because we want 3% of the posts. 3% only to be about kind of selling. And even that's going to be a soft sale. I also think you need to be very careful about not letting things become negative. If somebody is negative, I don't have a problem just removing them. It doesn't bother me to get rid of that person out of the group because if they do it once, they're probably going to do it again. And it's just quicker and easier. And it will save you a lot of headaches to just say, you know what, you're suspended and you can't come back into the group. And then really care about people. Don't do this to satisfy your greed. People can smell when you are somebody who is greedy and just wants something from them. So don't do that. Provide killer service and people will come to you. I promise you that. Last thing that I wanted to share is just kind of how I go about starting to develop some interest in our property. I do not jump on and go, hey, we've got Airbnb and it's open for tonight. What I've started doing, for instance, with our Red River Gorge property, and I'll do this with our Georgetown property eventually. At the Gorge, we have bought some land personally, and we're going to be building a cabin there. And so I am not saying you can rent a cabin for us. Instead, I'm posting videos going, hey, check out this property I just bought at the Red River Gorge. Isn't it beautiful? And people are commenting, oh, that's beautiful. It's great. What a cool thing, right? I eventually am going to start talking more about, we're going to put an Airbnb there, and it's going to be really cool. And I can't wait for some of you to stay there and give us some feedback on it. And what would you like to see in a cabin? That kind of stuff. So that eventually when we do actually launch it, I can say, hey, we're launching and we've got a weekend open. Who'd be interested in staying? And we can start booking it out. Again, this is about trickling. It's not about kind of having a waterfall or a fire hydrant hit people. Once you get that going, it will, I think, snowball for you, and you'll see some real movement in it. This is a huge strategy. It can really change the game for you. I think it could work just for Airbnb in general, but for your direct booking site, it will give you direct access into people and make a huge difference for you. Let me know. Put in the comments if you have questions, ways that I can help you. You can do this. You can get your direct site booked.